Hello students, so today let us continue with the chapter when, where, when and how. In the last class we learned about how to find about the history. We saw two sources from which we can learn about history. One was manuscripts that is written by hand, and it is derived from Latin word manu, meanings hand. These are usually written on the palm leaf or on the specially prepared bark of a tree known as birch, which is grown in Himalayas. With time they were destroyed or eaten by the insects, but many have survived, often and preserved in the temples and monasteries. The second source was inscriptions. Inscriptions are writings on relatively hard surface such as stones or metals. On inscriptions, usually kings got their orders inscribed so people could see, read and follow the instructions. Then the other kinds of inscriptions were where men and women recorded what they did. Especially it was done by the kings to record the victories in the battle. Now we are supposed to start further. There were many other things that were made and used in the past. Those who study these objects are called archaeologists. They study the remains of the buildings made of stone and brick, paintings and sculptures. They also explore and excavate. Excavators dig under the surface of the earth to find weapons, tools, pots, pans, ornaments and coins. Some of these objects may be made of stone, others of bone, baked clay or metal. Objects that are made of hard, imperishable substances usually survive for a long time. So here they are talking about various sources that we get from the past. Now those people who study about these objects are called archaeologists. Now they study whatever they find of the past, be it building that is made of stone or brick or paintings or sculptures. What they do, they explore and excavate. They excavate, that is, they dig under the surface of the earth to find various objects such as tools, weapons, pots, pans, ornaments and coins. And some of these objects, when they excavate and explore, they find that some of these objects were made of stone, others of bone, baked clay or metal. So we come to know from which era the various metals were used. And objects that were hard, made of hard and imperishable substances. Imperishable, that is something that cannot be destroyed, usually can survive for a long time. Here we are going to talk about, this is an old inscription that is about 2250 years, found in Kandahar, that is present day in Afghanistan. If we look at this image, this is a pot from an old city. These pots were used about 4700 years ago. Then these are silver coins which were used about 2500 years ago. If you can notice the difference, we can observe that the difference or the types of coins are quite different, that is used in the present and in the past. Archaeologists also look for bones of animals, birds and fish to find out what people ate in the past. Plant remains survive far more rarely. If seeds of grains or pieces of wood have been burned, they survive in a charred form. Archaeologists especially look for the bones of animals, birds and fish. Whenever they observe these bones of animals, birds or fish, they can predict that what people ate during that time. It is difficult to find plant survival, remains of the plants, but whenever the seed or a piece of wood is burnt, they are always formed in the charred form, in the ashes form, and we can hence analyze plant remains. Historians, that is scholars, who study the past often use the word source to refer to the information found from manuscripts, inscriptions, and archaeology. Once sources are found, learning about the past becomes an adventure as we reconstruct it bit by bit. So, historians and archaeologists are like detectives who use all the sources like clues to find out about our past. Now, historians, which are also known as scholars who study about the past, they often use the word source instead of information, because source is they refer source as the information they found from manuscripts, inscriptions, or archaeological sites. And once these are found, they learning about past becomes very interesting, because we construct that okay, this happened, then this happened, these people ate this, so they construct step by step. And so historians and archaeologists can be termed as detectives also, because they use all these clues to find out about our past. Is it one past or many? Did you notice the title of this book, Our Pasts? We have used the word pasts in plural to draw the attention to the fact that the past was different for different groups of people. For example, the lives of herders or farmers were different from those of kings and queens. The lives of merchants were different from those of craft persons, and so on. Also, as it is true even today, people followed different practices and customs in different parts of the country. For example, today, most people living in Andaman Islands get their own food by fishing, hunting, and collecting forest produce. By contrast, most people living in cities depend on others for supplies of foods. Differences such as these existed in the past as well. Now, if we consider about the past, if you notice the book title, it is Our Past. So, they have used past in plural form, because past for one group of people was different for the past of other group of people. For example, lives of herders and farmers were different from those of kings and queens. Life of merchants was different from those of craftsperson, and so on. So here they compared that life of one group of people was different from the other one. And even if we observe today, there is difference in the practices and customs also in different parts of the country itself. If we compare Andaman and Nicobar Islands with the present cities, Andaman and Nicobar Islands are where the people find their own food by fishing, hunting, and collecting forest produce, whereas people who live in the cities, they depend on others for their food supplies. And these differences existed in the past as well. Besides, there is another kind of difference. We know a great deal about kings and the battles they fought because they kept records of their victories. Generally, ordinary people such as hunters, fishing folk, gatherers, farmers, or herders did not keep records of what they did. While archaeology helps us to find out about their lives, there is much that remains unknown. There is another difference between the past. We know about the kings, their battles, how they lived, and everything, but we do not know about ordinary people, because ordinary people such as hunters, fishing folks, gatherers, farmers, or herders, they did not record, and hence archaeology helps us to find out about their life also. And there is much difference compared to the lives of people, of kings. So these differences remain unknowns, and we have much to find out about. What do dates mean? If somebody asks you the date, you will probably mention day, month, and year. So if someone asks me today is 22nd April or 23rd May 2020, right? These years are counted from date generally assigned to the birth of Jesus Christ, the founder of Christianity. These years are counted from the year Jesus Christ was born. So 2000 means 2000 years after the birth of Christ. All the dates before the birth of Christ are counted backwards and usually have the letters BC, that is before Christ. In this book, we will refer to dates going back from the present, using 2000 as our starting point. So from here we'll be using the word 2000. So 2000 years, and then we'll be going backwards towards before Christ. Letters with dates. BC we have seen stands for before Christ. You will sometimes find AD before dates. This means these stands for two Latin words, that is Anno Domini, meaning in the year of the Lord, that is Christ. So 2012 can be written as AD 2012. Sometimes CE is used instead of AD and BCE is used instead of BC. The letters CE stands for Common Era and BCE stands for Before Common Era. We use these terms because the Christian era is now in most of countries of the world. In India, we began using this form of dating from about 200 years ago. And sometimes the letters BP, meaning before present, are also used. This is for information. Elsewhere, we have seen inscriptions are inscribed on hard surfaces. Many of these were inscribed several hundred years ago, and all these inscriptions contain both scripts and languages. Languages which were used as well as scripts have changed over time. So how do scholars understand that what was inscribed? This can be done through the process known as decipherment. Like for example, in the past, whenever they wrote this, it meant P, T, O, L, M, I, S. This is K, L, I, O, P, A. So these are the alphabets they used at that time. One of the most famous stories of decipherment comes from Egypt, a country in North Africa, where there were kings and queens about 5,000 years ago. Rosetta is a town on the north coast of Egypt. This decipherment stories comes about from Egypt in North Africa, where there were kings and queens about 5,000 years ago. And this is the story of a town, Rosetta, and here an inscribed stone was found, which contained inscriptions in 3 different languages and scripts. 3 different languages and 3 different scripts, and inscriptions were, one was Greek and 2 forms of other Egyptian inscription. Scholars who could read Greek figured out that the names of the kings and queens were enclosed in the little frame called cartouche. They then placed the Greek and the Egyptian signs side by side and then identified the letter for which Egyptian letters stood. So from help of one script, they identified the other script also. As you can see, a L stood for lion and a bird stood for A. Once they knew what letters stood, they could read other inscriptions as well. So that is how they deciphered. Like for this L, this is A. Now when they started identifying alphabets, they could read the inscriptions as well.